Windows 10 LTSC. As you know, this version of Windows 10 won't expire until January 12, 2027 and January 13, 2032. This version of Windows is stable and secure for enterprise environments, which means that it is made light and deep loaded to improve the stability of the system. It is made for specialty devices like industrial machines, medical equipment, or ATMs and other stuff. This OS is predictable, which means that it is reduced so that it operates a certain way. And having less sometimes is better so that it doesn't mess your programs and your systems. And being these industrial purposes, they don't want much changes and much things to be happening on the background. This OS only gets security updates and does not have consumer support. Remember, it is not meant to be used by the public, but they are using it right now. But it works well for a slimmer system that handles less tasks. Now, I hear you can still game and run many programs, but software and hardware compatibility is not guaranteed for this version of Windows. The priority is the core components of the OS, not your gaming components or specialty software. Depending on your version, there is a chance that publishers will stop supporting updates for software that you need and want. So even though the expiration is until 2032, there's a chance that the software might stop working even before that. I just want to advise you on this. Like I said, it all depends on your use case. Don't expect all the programs and features to work all the way to 2032. Therefore, depending on your purposes, an unchanging system might be an excellent option. You may have a few apps that don't cause issues or perform light work. Maybe you don't care about gaming or having maximum compatibility with newer software. Maybe it's a good option for you. Now let's cover licensing. You will need an enterprise license for Windows 10. You won't be able to buy this off of Microsoft, but there are websites that sell licenses keys for Windows Home, Pro, Server, and more. The nice thing is they also have Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC licenses. Also, FYI, Windows 10 LTSC environment expires in January 12, 2027. Windows 10 IoT LTSC Enterprise expires January 13, 2032. Therefore, it might be best to get the IoT version until 2032. They are pretty much the same or pretty similar, but don't quote me on that. Now, let's get onto the process of seeing what we need to do this installation. Now in our system, I want to make my screen smaller. This is basically Windows Enterprise LTSC on Microsoft. So you know there's a couple steps we need to take, and we're going to do an in-place upgrade. But first, I'm going to do this. Okay, so I have a couple links here, and just know that I'm going to be sharing all the links for stuff that I use and for the stuff I'm accessing through my description. So check the description if you want any of that stuff. So I noticed there was this site here. And this one is on massgrave.dev. And you know what? I'm going to download it from here to simplify things. And you can see here is the IoT Enterprise in English. And you got to make sure is that you check on your CMD. So go into command prompt as an administrator, run as administrator. And then you're going to run this command. Dism online space. And I'll add it to the description as well. Okay, basically this tells you that you're using the default system UI language, English US. So because we're doing an in-place upgrade, we got to get the same English package. So what we're going to do is, now that we know this, we just exit and we see here English, right? So what we're going to do is, before we start this, my system, we're going to check, and my system is a Windows 10 Pro. We got to make the system believe we're on Enterprise, because otherwise it's not going to let us upgrade with our applications. So we're going to exit out of here, and we're going to go to registry, and we're going to edit some things out so that we can do the in-place upgrade with all of our applications and stuff. Otherwise we would be doing a reinstall, like a clean install almost. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download this one from here. And I forgot to show you the other option too. So I'm going to go to this one, and just for informational purposes, if you want to go to the archive, I'm going to add this link as well, and you could download it from here as well. So whichever option you prefer, you go and click on if you want to download from archive or from here. And I'm going to download it from here. You can see here the version IoT, and I'm going to download it. And you'll see here it is a total of 4.5 gigabytes. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to make some changes to my registry to make it believe we are on Enterprise. And we're going to go to HKey local machine software. And then we got software. Let me make this a little bigger. Software, Microsoft, Windows. Microsoft, and we go down to Windows, WindowsNT current version, WindowsNT. Then we see here CurrentVersion. And now we got to make a couple of changes. So we got to go to EditionID. You're going to load and you'll see here EditionID and you see professional here, right? So we're going to go here. We're going to modify and we're going to add Enterprise and then S. Enterprise S. And I'll have it on the description as well. Now you can see here Enterprise S. Now we're going to change product name. We're going to look for the P, product name, and we're going to go Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC. Okay, Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, and we see right there, Enterprise LTSC. So we're good on that. Now we're going to go to Releaseid. Releaseid. We're going to change it to 21H2. 21H2. Yes. DisplayVersion. We go DisplayVersion. Then we're going to have 21H2 as well. Okay, and then we're going to do CurrentBuild. We're going to do 19044. 19044. Enter. CurrentBuildNumber. 19044 and enter. And now making those changes, we're going to be able to upgrade with all of our settings and programs and stuff like that. And we'll check it right now in a second. So we can exit out of here. Okay, before we do this, if you haven't done this, back up your information, your important files, or back up your system to an USB or disk drive, whatever you have, because if something goes wrong here, you're going to lose all your data. So I just want to warn you that there's a chance that something goes wrong. So definitely have a backup of your system. Now, if I don't have any concern of losing my data, I can just go in here. I want to press here. So first it's got to mount it, and we're going to go to setup. We're going to click yes. And then I'm going to do something here, change how Windows setup gets updates. And I'm going to say not right now. I'm going to go next. It's going to start checking the PC. Okay, accept. Making sure you're ready to install. Hopefully we don't run into any issues, but if you did all the other stuff, there shouldn't be. Okay, now after it checks the system, it's going to say install Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, and I want to do, let's see, keep personal files and apps. So otherwise, if you don't do the regedit, it wouldn't let you keep personal files and apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that one, and I'm going to do next. Okay, so we're going to do install. Okay, so my computer rebooted after doing the installation and everything. So now let's do a checkup to see what's going on. So let's make sure that the upgrade was effective about your PC. Okay, so we can see here, Edition Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC 21H2. Okay, so we had an effective installation. Now let's do something else. And this menu looks different, right? I mean, we still have some of our old applications that do not come with Windows 10 LTSC, but because we did keep applications and programs, we can see that some of that stuff traveled with us. So if we go here to settings, look at this, and Windows isn't activated. Activate Windows now. So basically, we're going to get a license the same way I showed you guys. Okay, and we can see some of the differences here when compared to Windows 10 Pro. But something I want to tell you guys is that I don't think I'm going to buy that license key because I've already tested KeysFan, the website, in the past, and it has worked fine for me. So I don't think I'm going to buy a key to register the system because most likely I'm going to install it and do something else later. But let's check Steam. Okay, so we are in Steam and it recognizes my account and everything. So you can see the transfer of all my personal files and everything. It was done well. Now we're in Windows 10. I have my applications. And for example, here, let's see, display settings. Okay, 1920 times 1080. We have OBS. So it was a successful installation. Now we have still here the different Windows tools, disk management and other stuff. Let's go check for updates. And as you know, this is version 21H2. And as you can see, it's getting the current updates. It's still going to get some updates. I mean, like I said, it's not going to get the feature and other stuff updates. And if you type Microsoft Store, normally the Microsoft Store is not there, but because I had it in my system, I think it brought it over. But you could potentially remove it. Okay, something else we can do. Task Manager. Want to make sure the components are there. Okay, 32. We have our graphics card, the RX 5500 XT. So you can see some pretty decent system. It's gonna still get security updates. So if you're using, for example, you're just surfing the web among other things, you can still game on it. And there's some different benchmarks out there for people playing different games. Let's see. Let's try to open a game. Okay, let's do Modern Warfare. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the system is configured the way it was configured with the other Windows 10. As you can see, it brought over some of the apps and some of the settings that we had. You can see the system is pretty snappy. And something we didn't check, let's see, let's exit out of here. Let's see how much we're using, how much RAM we're using. So memory, so we're using 22%, and we can see here in use 6.8, available 24. And as we can see, it's a little high due to some of the stuff that we brought over. Let's see the processes. 176 processes. And what some people do is they do clean install so that it starts fresh without a lot of this extra stuff. And because I did it from keeping the files, but as you can see, it's operating well. It's pretty snappy, and it's still not gonna have everything that Windows 10 Home or Pro has. So it's pretty slimmed down the way it is right now. Let's see here. You can see the menu. So it's pretty similar, just slimmed down. And something else that we're gonna do is we're gonna get that image into an USB and we're gonna boot into it, so you can see what I was talking about when I said about the clean install. So if you want to use Rufus, I guess I don't have it in this computer, but want to go here, rufus.ie. Want to get the portable version. Okay, we're gonna open Rufus. Yes. You gotta allow it to do the updates that it wants to do. Okay, now we're gonna need a USB. Okay, we're gonna do yes on this one too. Okay, so we have Windows 10 OS that I created in the past. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. And we're gonna click on this Enterprise LTSC. Okay, GPT UEFI. We're gonna name it differently. However you want to name it, go ahead. And we're gonna do start. And we're just gonna press OK. Okay, it's gonna erase everything. Okay, and our USB has finished creating. So we're gonna exit, eject. Let's reboot. Let's shut down. And we'll do the process that I told you. Basically, if you want to clean install, if you have a Windows 10 Pro and not mess with the registry settings, you can do that. That way the only reason why we changed the registry settings is so that we could do an in-place upgrade to keep all of our applications and be able to transfer over to Windows 10 LTSC. Now we're going to do the real Windows 10 LTSC. A boot menu. So let's see, boot menu. And we want to check our USB. English, next, install now. Let's see what options it gives us. I don't have a product here right now. So we have here Windows 10 Enterprise and 10 IoT Enterprise. Now, as I told you, Enterprise 2027 and IoT LTSC Enterprise 2032. So I'm going to do 2032 IoT. I'm going to do next. Accept the license terms. Next. And okay, you can do install Windows and keep files, as you can see, with like the other one I did. But I want to do a clean install, basically. And we have here the other stuff. And you know what? I'm just going to erase it. I had a lot of stuff in there, but you know what? I'm prepared to undo and redo everything several times to be able to make these videos. So undo next. And this is basically the clean install. It's the same as Windows. When you install Windows 10 Home or Pro, you just select the enterprise image that you want to do, and you'll be doing a clean install. There's not much to it. If you have seen my other videos for basically creating bootable images and installing Windows 11 and 10 and whatsoever. But if you do the in place, you're going to need to change some registry settings so that it believes it's on an enterprise computer, because otherwise it's not going to let you keep the settings. But you could do an in-place upgrade and do forget about everything, and it'll erase your apps and everything else, and it'll give you like a fresh start if that's what you want to do. But this is my preferred method. If you want to install something, is just doing the clean install and starting fresh, giving that operating system the best possibility to run the best it can from scratch, and then you start installing everything that you need. And you know, it might take you some time. You might have to plug in your external drive, and you might have to move everything to the system. But it is totally worth it, in my opinion, to do the clean install and just put everything on a USB or external drive, move it over, and then start installing everything fresh. And it keeps you on your toes on what you're supposed to do. And you always have utilities to be able to install multiple programs and stuff. And we'll try that in a second, see if it lets us do an installation, like kind of like setting up our system after installation. But I'm not going to install everything because it's a lot of stuff. And we're just reviewing LTSC, and I want to show you how it looks clean versus doing the in-place upgrade. And you'll see how the little bit of the difference when you start fresh. Okay, and this is Windows 10 LTSC. So just so you guys know, the only program that is going to be here is my AMD graphics card software, because it doesn't let me use my capture card if I don't disable a setting. So I have to do that first, and then that's the only thing it has, just the AMD software. But as you can see, it's pretty clean, right? It only has a couple stuff here, and once you go into start, look at this. Nothing. Where's the calculator? There you go. That's the old calculator, you see? So it is pretty bare bone. And if you go to settings here, you'll see that it's not activated. Like we said, if you go to keyspan, get that key to activate your license so you can start customizing your environment. So if you go here and try to, let's do personalize, you'll see here doesn't allow you to do much because it needs to be activated. And I mean, you can see here the menu, the options. It's a pretty stable system. It's secure. Like I said, you're gonna get your updates. You're gonna get some cumulative updates, some security updates. But just know this: if you like in Windows 10 Home and Pro, you get the latest bug fixes, feature updates, and a whole lot of other stuff. Whatever your version is, for example, here, if we go about, you'll see here where Windows 10, and now it says IoT, Enterprise LTSC. You'll see here version 21H2. So if they basically, they're not going to work on this version anymore. So if you, in the future, if you see new programs or something, components, and you install them on your computer, for example, they're not going to be working on this update. So the manufacturers, they might start leaving this version of Windows, like they're not going to provide any more support to it. So you might have some bugs or issues with certain software, And as of right now, I mean, there's not much. You're not gonna have problems, even possibly for a while. But um, just know that even Windows has pretty similar FPS compared to Windows 10 LTSC. But over time, that might start changing, and Windows 10 LTSC might start losing that support for a lot of stuff. So just know that. But I think for a year, I think it should be good. Can't really say about more than that because I don't have the experience to say, okay, I've had a system like this for a year. But I'll keep paying attention, and I'll see what is happening out there in the market. If I see something going on, I'll report it in my channel. But as you can see, you get some cumulative and security updates. You can go and get the your driver updates for Windows 10 as well, and you should be able to your system should be able to perform well. And a lot of the time, your system, like if you go to Device Manager here, you'll see if you see like this, for example, that's a driver. You need to download the drivers so that you can clear this legend. And like I said, on this system, like the one I have, the HP C440, I would just have to go to HP C440, then download the latest drivers, and all that stuff is going to start clearing out because now I'm going to have the current drivers and the proper updates that I need for my system to run well. And you can see here, let's do something. This is the only thing I have Edge, but you can start downloading Chrome and you can start setting it up. Something that you can do as well, you should still have PowerShell, run as administrator. I really like the Chris Titus tool because it simplifies everything. I mean, you may not have to worry so much about bloatware anymore because it's slimmed down. But if you want to install multiple apps, you go IRM, christitus.com/win pipe IEX. And what will happen if you don't want to use Edge, you'll have the Chris Titus utility open up. Okay, and this is the Titus utility. You'll see here you have browsers. If you want to get Firefox, if you want to get Chrome, if you want to get other stuff here, PDF Gear, you can get LibreOffice as well, VLC. You can also get Steam. And then you just click here on install. You're going to see here how it's queuing and installing everything that you clicked on there. The nice thing is that you can install multiple apps at one go. And sometimes it tells you this, mainly my system, it wants to have a password in order to do certain things, right? And I'm like, okay, I'll just make something up. Okay, and we had a problem here, and let's try something else. I want to check something out because I haven't tried these. Like I said, I haven't tried this operating system, so we can get a couple things. Let's get Chrome, Firefox. Let's try Chocolatey, and we'll do VLC. And okay, installs have finished. And so I had an error with Winget because I needed a certain version of Windows, right? So sometimes you can play around, see which option works. Chocolatey, Winget. It allows you to go out and acquire applications, like kind of like Application Manager, and install it on your system. Like in this case, you can install many applications on one go. As you saw, Chrome didn't completely work for some reason. Sometimes what you can do is you can retry, or you can just, for example, right now I have Firefox. I can just use Firefox and go and download it. And you have tweaks here as well. You can enable the dark theme. And as you can see, I enabled it. I wouldn't be able to enable it with Windows, but this one allows you to bypass that problem, and you can just enable it from here. So if you don't have it activated, like I don't have it activated right now, you can set up different things. Mainly with the debloating feature, you are already pretty debloated, so you don't have to worry too much about that, and you don't have to worry about much of these because the updates, you're just going to get security updates. And if you are not using a CTT Chris Titus tool, definitely recommend it. And we'll exit out of here, and you see the installation process of that. If you go to Firefox, you'll see that it works. And there you go. And you want to install Chrome. So you start setting it up however you want to set it up. So you're going to be able to download the stuff in this scenario because of this the way LTSC is made. You're going to be able to install whatever you prefer, and the stuff that you don't want, you don't have to worry about it because it already comes pretty slim. You can see here Chrome setup. You can install Chrome. You can install. I already installed my graphics AMD Adrenaline software to be able to enable myself to game. You can install Steam and other stuff if you want to have like I said, a wallpaper and other stuff. Personalize it. You're gonna have to activate it because it's not gonna let you do much until you activate it. For example, here I'm gonna save a picture here because I want to show you something. If you open a picture, you're not going to have your regular applications. So what's going to happen is it's going to use Paint to open it up. You can see here, it used Paint, right? Because it doesn't have like a picture program, but you can download a few depending on what you want. You can still, like you see here, don't sign in, and you can still use Google Chrome and all the other programs, game, surf the web. So if you want to have a really slim system with your gaming setup in your to watch videos and a web browser, boom, this is a perfect configuration. And as of right now, it will take a while before you start losing support for some of those features that you are so interested in, right? Like I say, if you type calculator, you'll get the old one. And you can get the Microsoft Store, but you got to set it up. There's a command that you can use. But this LTSC, some people are using it and they are having a positive experience. And I've been reading some of the comments, and a lot of people are commenting so many good things about LTSC. So if you don't want to pay up as well, and you want to install LTSC, well, you'll need to pay for the license, right? You can also do a command to activate it. It's a non-official activation. That is for a different video, but that's another way you can do it. Just do the non-official activation, and you will be able to not require have to pay for a license. But often with all that kind of stuff, you never know what's going to happen or how your system may operate. Windows 11 is going to be the best option if you want to have all the latest updates and everything else. And if something happens and you might be concerned about something, they always try to come up with a fix or a resolution to a problem. So you'll still see a little bit more FPS in Windows 11, but over time, I think as Windows 10 is losing support, it slowly will start having problems. But that'll be for a while. So this is another tool in your repertoire of options for you to keep Windows 10. Okay, you may be wondering why I did this section at the end. Well, basically it's because we're going to spend money here and we're going to put our cards in the internet. And what I want to suggest everyone is if you have a spare card that you use for shady or stuff that you don't trust completely, use that card to buy it off the internet, because you don't know about these websites. They can get hacked among some other things. So now we did everything else. We figured out everything. We had to redo or undo stuff. Now we can start spending money at the end because we can activate it at any point. The most important thing is installing and attaching all of our programs. So as you can see here, KeysFan, I have experience with KeysFan. I bought keys from here, extremely cheap. It's a good website, and I have not had any problems. I have also heard about Gamers Outlet, but I don't know much about them, so I'm on the fence. But once you go to your system, like here, you go to About, and you see whatever version you have. If you have the IoT or you have the LTSC, just know that you cannot use IoT for LTSC, and you cannot use LTSC for IoT. They are separate, and I just researched that, and I found out. So whatever version you have, this LTSC version is going to be the one for LTSC. And the one I have right now, I would have to buy IoT Enterprise LTSC. Now, in this option, there's two pieces. I couldn't find one with, for example, one. So in this case, I would probably have to buy this one. And if you want to add a discount code, just go to KeysFan on YouTube and just start copying their codes and try to see which one works. For mine, I don't have one, but I found this one, JD52, and it worked. And it offers 52% of a discount. So it makes it cheaper But so you see a high price tag there. I want to remove this. Let's see. I want to remove this one. Okay, now this should be the accurate one. Windows 10 IoT Enterprise. You can see $21 for 2 keys. That's not too bad. If you want to check the other option, do some research on this one. You might be able to get a code and get it for like $10. But definitely use caution with these websites. Like I said, take into account whatever system you have. If it's LTSC or IoT, I showed you guys how to do an in-place upgrade. And you go into LTSC. And then I did a clean install with the IoT. So once you get the system that you want, whatever version, you come here and you buy your key. So you let me know, ask questions in the comments if you have any problems. Or if you follow the steps on this video, you should be able to upgrade to LTSC or IoT. If you want to get a couple years, I mean, 2027 is pretty good still for being able to get support for a couple years. And whatever option you prefer, they're pretty similar. Basically, if you guys have any other questions or concerns, let me know down in the comments. Have a nice day. Loco Techman out.